The time has come for the 340 to get its big turbo. We're looking at a Dynamic AutoWorks UltraFlow 6969. Now you're probably thinking, this looks like a hybrid, it's a bottom out stock location. It is not a hybrid. This is a full frame, but in a stock location. As you can see, it's way bigger than what you would see with the Pure or something like that. It's got the manifold all connected because it is a direct bolt-on, which means it's not a cool flashy top mount, but it still makes all that flashy top mount jam. This thing is rated for 1150 horsepower. I don't know if I'm gonna be touching that, but we're gonna try to get as close as we can down the road. Then we're also gonna be installing this flex fuel kit that I got from ECS Tuning, because we're not just gonna run pump gas with this to make some real power. We gotta go on E, which is gonna be expensive because in Canada, you cannot get E from any pump. You have to special order it through barrels, so miles per gallon, I guess, but I wanna aim for maybe just under 600 wheel for now. My first limitation are the stock injectors and the stock low pressure fuel pump, but I don't wanna blow my transmission. So we're gonna try to be a little safe and conservative for now. But either way, that's gonna be a good amount of power. X-Drive, this thing is going to blast off the line. We got the new and bigger turbo inlet, the turbo install kit with new gaskets, lines, O-rings, nuts, everything, all the hardware. The stock downpipe is already out and the stock turbo is soon to be after. I'm very curious to see what the bigger turbo looks like from the top because it is definitely a way bigger setup. I just wonder if we're gonna really be able to notice that it's on an aftermarket or upgraded turbo. Like I wonder if I can tell people that I'm still stock turbo. We got the stock turbo out. You can see how much smaller the wheel is and the housing. This thing is way bigger, way more flow potential. We got to swap over the wastegate and the lines to this one, and then it's gonna be ready to go back in the car. We've also got this beautiful manifold blanket from Funk Motorsports, which also comes with a turbo blanket. So it's a cool little combo that keeps the IATs down by a tremendous amount. So everything is back together, and unfortunately, you really can't see much of what's going on down there. I kind of wanted to see it a little bit, but I guess this is what happens when you do a bottom mount. You can't be picky with what you see. We just finished priming the turbo. Now I'm going to flash the base file on, which was sent over to me by the lovely team at Civic Tuning. They'll be linked down below, check them out, and hopefully we can get a nice little data log in tonight to start dialing this car in. But let's go flash it over with the MHD base file and hope there's no leaks. Okay, so I've got the custom tune set up here. We gotta do this the ECA preset for MHD because we have the MHD flex fuel kit now. I put my exhaust burbles back to OEM style because I don't want to destroy this turbo. We got the Dorch DS25 high pressure fuel pump. I was told to also do sport coolant target, TCU limiter delete. Those are all my special instructions for this flash. Here's my file. We got the Govy ready. Map right. Wait, oh, guys, it already failed. Okay, we got the BM3 dongle in. Let's try this again. Okay, I think we're good. Yes, sir. Success, let's go. All right, first start. Yeah, try again. Nope. All right, third time's a charm. No. All right, fourth time's a charm. We're not having any luck starting it. We're gonna flash it back to a stage 2 because MHD just had an update in the app, so I don't know if something is wrong inside of there, but we're gonna try to start it on a stage 2 just to see if it cranks and then try again on the custom file. Okay, I'm ready. All right, I'm ready. It's alive. I was about to pull away because we thought we were all done and good to go. But we have an engine light, and I don't think it's because I'm catless. This is the code we're getting, which is for the Valvetronic motor sensor, or the Valvetronic motor itself. I don't know. Bro, we're so close. We did all of this just for this to come up now. We reset the Valvetronic motor adaptation values, I think. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on right now. Okay, no more engine light. I'm gonna try to drive. My buddy that was working on the car wants to go home. He's been here for like 11 hours. I get it. Hopefully this doesn't come back, and we'll see when I get back to our shop. Okay, unfortunately the engine light is back. The car is running fine. Like I don't notice any differences, but obviously the engine light's there. It could be a sensor. I don't know. I mean, what I looked up online, it can cause limp mode and reduce engine power. So I'm not gonna go and do a log right now and I guess show you guys what it sounds like. This kind of sucks. I can hear the turbo a little bit. I haven't pushed the car at all, but obviously I want to get this sorted before I start dialing in the tune. So the next time I pick up the camera, hopefully there's no engine light and this is fixed, and I'll update you guys then. So since I can't drive that car now, I guess that means I have to drive this stupid car. Oh my God. I'm kidding. I just washed it. It looks so good. Do you guys like it? I haven't even really seen this car in like the last 2 weeks. I don't even know where it's been, which is crazy because I pay $1,100 a month for this thing and I don't even freaking drive it anymore. But let's get a little cold start. Yeah. All right, I forget how to operate these now. All right. Before we continue, we gotta say thanks to this video sponsor, CarpodGo. This is going to give your car a nice new screen, which is going to give you access to CarPlay, maps, music, your apps, and more. So we're going to go ahead and install this on the only car I have that does not have CarPlay, my 1997 Honda Civic. I've been using this magnetic mount in the meantime so I can prop my phone up and then I have access to at least Waze. The old mount's off, the new mount is on, and we got our new CarPlay screen, which is attached by a magnet. Boom, 2015 interior. Comes with a power source, which just goes into your cigarette lighter. It's also got a USB plug-in. So for me, I'm gonna use that as my dash cam power source. This is what it looks like powered on. Also, there's a number of different suction mounts that you can get for this. Like I just used the basic one that will lay on the dash. You can hook it up to your windshield, wherever you want to put it. I feel like this makes the most sense and this looks the most natural. P and D. Oh, I misclicked it. I got fat thumbs, guys. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. It looks clean too. And it's just fully touchscreen. This will read out your text messages too, I think.
What do you want to say to Gabriella?
Yeah, like that's pretty cool. This is super useful for me because now obviously I have this extra screen which has access to Waze. I can see my maps if I'm GPSing somewhere. I can't really say I listen to music too much in this car because it is so rattly and this car makes so much noise. This isn't really a calm, chill car, but if you do have an older car or just a car that didn't come with CarPlay, super useful, super handy. Gives you all the features that a newer car would. Go into the product's settings, click the Bluetooth button there, and you have this dual Bluetooth display only mode, which allows your phone to connect to this device for CarPlay and dual connect to your car's Bluetooth sound system, so it streams it to both. And then you have aux, so you run an aux cord from the device to your car's sound system, and then while your phone's connected, it'll just feed it into the CarPlay system, which then plays out of your car's speakers. I thought this was gonna look kind of wacky on this car, like it was gonna be out of place, but I actually don't mind it at all. If your vehicle does not have CarPlay, click the link in the description to get your own CarpodGo unit. I do genuinely like it. Now let's get back to the video. I said the next time I'd pick up the camera, the car would be fixed. Let me show you. Dude, I gotta stop trying to put the clutch in, oh my God. Look at that, smooth turn on, no wonky idle. No check engine light, baby. And the repair was insane. It was ridiculous, the amount of hours. No, I literally just unplugged the DME, like all the cables and connectors for the DME, because we messed with a lot of stuff when we did the turbo. So I think maybe something wasn't plugged in right, maybe some wiring was messed up, I don't know. But I unplugged everything, plugged it back in, and I re-flashed the base file tune on. And the engine light went away, I took it for a test drive, didn't come back, and I did my log, which was 2,500 RPM, only until 4,000 RPM, because Shoop Tuning, they want to make sure that everything is running right before we start actually pushing the car and you know, increasing the boost and all that stuff. So now I'm waiting for the first revision. Now, while we wait for Mr. Tuner Man to do his thing, I gotta show you guys the first official cosmetic mod for the 340, and it's this carbon fiber Varus or Varus, I don't know how to say it, front lip that I got from Sencal Motorsport. We got stock wheels with no carbon anywhere around the car. Like nothing has been done to the exterior of this thing, and we already have a big turbo on it. I've been meaning to do this front lip replacement because, as you can see, I think this is like the M Performance one. I don't know what happened, if it's like sun faded or whatever, but this just looks so like cheap and scuffed up, so we're gonna take that off. These are like, you know, I think these are just like inserts that go over the bumper. This is also gonna come off. And because I have these 4 license plate holes, the bumper also has some damage down here. So now instead of just putting the lip on, calling it a day, I don't want this car just to be fast. I want it to look good. So we're going to pull the bumper off, strip the paint, sand it down, fill the holes where the license plate was, and repaint the whole thing. And also, actually, I forgot to add, we are going to be paint matching these reflectors. I was gonna buy them off of I&D, I think is like the only company that sells them, but they are like $240 Canadian shipped to me, which is just ridiculous. So since I'm repainting the bumper, why not just do the reflectors as well and save the money? So let's get this bumper off. Boom, the bumper is off. But now I gotta strip every single thing off of this piece of plastic so it's just bare naked, ready to be painted. And now we have a fully naked bumper, minus this M Performance lip. I watched a video on how this gets put on the bumper. It's ridiculous. I told the guy that's gonna paint this, I told him to just rip it off. I don't care if he breaks it. I just gotta get it over to him so he can start. About 70 bolts, 12 different cables and plugs and cameras and sensors later, the bumper is fully stripped down. I'm gonna go drop it off now, but while we wait for that to be painted and while we wait for the revision to be sent over, there's another mod we're doing on the 340. When I bought this car, I got it pretty optioned out. I thought it was fully loaded, but if you can't tell from looking at it like this car has the absolute lowest possible brake package. I think these are just called like base brakes, but you can get the base ones, then there's the M Sport, and then there's the M Performance brakes. I can definitely notice that this car's braking is not the best. Now what you can do is go on Marketplace and try to find a used set of the M Sport or M Performance brakes, or if you get lucky, you can find a used set of F8X M car brakes, because that's also a direct bolt-on, which is exactly what I did. These are off of a F80 M3, and you can see the difference in the rear calipers alone. I mean, what even is this? You'll see on the back here it says 370/380. That's because on the M cars, your rotors are 380 mil, but these calipers can also fit 370 mil, which is what I have to put on the 340. So I think right now I'm on like a 330 mil rotor, so the surface area is a lot smaller, which means this is definitely gonna help with that stopping power. So we got a brand new set of rotors and pads from ECS. Before we start pulling those off, I don't want to put the blue on. I think the red on red will look better. So let's get these painted. And everything is done. It's all put together, rotors, pads, calipers. Pretty easy job. It's bolt-on, it's a direct fit. I'm very happy about that. I'm surprised it's not a different knuckle from the M3, but this looks so good. But look at the size difference here from before versus now. Like, this is hopefully gonna be a very noticeable difference in braking power. I really do think it will be. The surface area from the rotor, the pads are bigger, the calipers are bigger. I'm gonna be stopping on a dime. I also do think I made the right choice with the red on red. Victor has the same setup on his C63, red brakes, red car. Before we take this car off the lift and go for a nice little drive, I just picked up my freshly painted front bumper. Let me show you how I picked it up. I'm surprised, but honestly, it fit pretty well in here. I'm not sure if not having back seats help. Who said sports cars can't be practical? Good as new, man. It looks so good. And as you can see, I no longer have license plate holes. It's been completely filled. All that damage that was over here, also gone. But overall, this bumper was in rough shape. It had a lot of cracks, a lot of scuffs, and now it's looking brand spanking new. Let's go ahead and add all the trims, grills, sensors, fog lights back onto the bumper. Looking pretty good, man. Everything went on just how it came off. We're gonna go ahead and mount this now while the bumper's off the car and then throw everything back together. So let me show you my new front end in 3, 2, 1. I absolutely love this. Now I'm gonna say right off the bat, if you didn't notice, I noticed that it's my car. The fitment on the front lip isn't amazing, and I don't think that's really the lip's fault. I know it's aftermarket, it's never gonna be perfect, but part of it might have been me installing it. It wasn't the easiest thing to do. I'm used to installing lips on my M2 where it's like all OEM bolt fitment, 7, 8 bolts and you're done. I had to pretty much drill every single hole and line it up with the bumper and then do a nut and bolt. So it could be a little bit better, but honestly, I'd spent so much time on it. I put the car back together. I'm looking at it now, it's kind of bothering me. I might fix it at some point, but for right now, it's okay. I don't want to do this all over again. Paint matched reflectors look amazing. And the rest of the car, it's paint matched pretty well. I don't know. I mean, I think if you look at it up close, maybe you can tell it's been repainted because my hood has definitely seen better days. There's quite a few stone chips and stuff like that. I might have to get that one redone next, or just get a carbon hood. But overall, like, I think it flows pretty well with the car. It doesn't look like it's out of place at all. When I first saw the bumper, it looked so clean and so fresh. I was like, damn it, this might actually not look the best because it's gonna look so out of place. And here's our first look with the brake setup with the wheels on. I think the red on red is beautiful, and I cannot wait to fit the new wheels. My wheels are pretty much already done, by the way. This thing is gonna look ridiculously nice. Big shout out to my buddy Mason at Colorworks for getting the paint job done in such a short amount of time and doing such a good job. As for the turbo and the tuning process, I don't actually have a proper update for you guys yet. Dialing in a car definitely takes time because even once we finish with this 93 tune, we got to work our way with ethanol. I don't really want to show the car like a quarter power or half power. I want to see you guys when it's balls to the walls, ready to go. It's just not there right now. The tuners basically told me to drive somewhat conservative until things are more dialed in, just as a precautionary thing, and I agree. I don't really want to risk breaking anything, so I'm going to be doing exactly that. So because of the fact that it's probably going to be another week until this car is properly dialed in, I think I'm going to end off today's video here. I'm sorry, don't hurt me. I know you want to see turbo content, so do I. We're just not quite there yet, but at least we got it installed. We started the tuning process. We upgraded to some M3 brakes, repainted the front bumper, added a front lip. There's some content happened here, all right? I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more because I know we've done a lot, but we're not stopping anytime soon. There's so much more going on with this thing. See you guys next time. Peace out.